Whoever Cornblute was talking about, whoever.
You mentioned the word perception. It seems there's a perception out there, narrative, that Adam Randall is not a running back necessarily, and so Clemson doesn't have a running back because he's converted from a wide receiver. How would you evaluate Adam Randall and his comparison to a traditional running back?
I think he's been one of the real bright spots for us. He's been one of the real bright spots for us, and he's given us a chance to win. He's got to keep getting. He just needs to play. He just needs to keep going, and he really did a great job in the Troy game. Got it going. I thought we got it going last week, and I just think we got to keep rolling there. He's on his way. I've been pleased with Adam. It's not all bad. There's been a lot of good things. He's actually been one of the bright spots for us.
How much of your job right now is preparing confidence and building?
That's a huge part. It's a huge part because, again, of what I just said. They just everything's bad, right? You lose a game like at Clemson and fire everybody. All your coaches stink. Everybody's stupid. They don't know what they're doing. All the players are bad. That's just the world they live in. And so, and then you have a gut punch like we had the other day, and it's a huge part of what we have to do as coaches. It's always a part of it.
Coach, I imagine you've heard that the ACC broadcasted the officials going through their calls during the game so that fans could hear the explanation.
I didn't know that. I didn't.
Now you know.
There you go.
I know you get that explanation on the sideline yourself all the time, but when you talk about perception, how does that maybe help the fans at home get that context and understand calls happening in the game, especially maybe when things aren't going your way?
Okay, so you're talking about people at home being able to see the refs in the command center.
Yeah, being able to hear.
Transparency, I think, is always a good thing. I think that's what they're trying to accomplish with that is just transparency, and maybe just teaching people what their process is and how they go about things. I think that's what you're asking me.
How would you evaluate the job Garrett's done with kind of rebuilding confidence, getting them back in rhythm? How do you feel like he's done in this process?
None of us have done a good job at this point. We all have to be better. We're 1-2. So from just a pure football standpoint, we haven't gotten it done. Ultimately, we're responsible for results. We got to score points. So we haven't done a good job. We've got to be better. All of us, not just Garrett, everybody. He's not the only guy in the room. We all have to be better. Everybody's got to be better. And the players got to be better too. But, it starts with the coaches. We got to score. And we're just missing a lot of opportunities. And we got to take some pressure off the defense. Again, we did not play good enough to win Saturday defensively, but 21 points, should be a standard. We've won a lot of games around here when we hold the opponent to less than 23 points. That's kind of been our standard. And so it's not like you got to be perfect, but we've all, it's complementary football. And so that's where I think the offense has to be. We got to get going. We're not anywhere near what we should be, can be, and what we're going to be. So to this point, none of us have done a good enough job.
Coach, with the new regulations at the Meet-at-the-Paw, we've seen you now at your 2 home games have a special one with TJ and Cade. What has it been like actually having that time and not getting swarmed right away?
The first game was a blur. I was more just pissed in the moment. But the Troy game was a little better. I missed the fan. I like the fans. I wish they. I think we'll get better. I wish they would. I wish we wouldn't play the alma mater till we got the fans out there. I miss hugging up on random people, students. But I understand it and make sure that we get the opponents off the field and what they're trying to do, and I think that's important. So we're still kind of working it out. I think eventually we'll find the right rhythm to where we can still beat Clemson. and think, you know, one of the things that's made Clemson unique and special for a long time.
You still have the policy of your public commitments not taking visits to other schools.
Yes,
So.
but we're not going to talk recruiting. But yeah, that is a policy here.
Oh, yeah, so not pick, but just so.
And I don't bring committed kids in here either. So I don't do that. I don't visit committed guys here. I don't bring them into games.
Does that? What's the problem?
That's between us and recruiting. We're not getting involved in recruiting in this press conference.
Just wondering with revenue sharing now, does it add a different level of accountability in terms of the player having to play up to what they're being paid or any pressure? How do you view that?
Sure. I mean, you can't have it both ways. I mean, it's more than just a scholarship now. So, you know, revenue share is based on performance, right? Like, so you got to sit down every year and you got to figure out, because we're heading into, like I said many times, and it might take a year or so to really kind of everybody settle in, because everybody did so much front loading and everything's kind of off for maybe a year. But you got to make decisions. I mean, everybody's going to have the same amount of money. And then you have true NIL with the NIL Go, and all that stuff has to meet a standard and all that stuff, and that's great. But the rev share is, I mean, it's a game changer for us, because NIL is hard here. I mean, it was really hard. But the rev share is a game changer, because now we can use our money, you know, but you have to divide it up. And so how do you divide it up? Well, okay, these are our first rounders. And first of all, you got to retain guys. You have to retain your talent. And then you got to acquire talent, and you got to there's a process on both of those. But yeah, I mean, you pay the wrong guys, you're in trouble, right? And these aren't lifetime contracts. So, I mean, no different than the next level. You have to perform. And there's still a portal. Kids can still go. So it's very different. It's not anywhere near like the NFL. I mean, NFL those guys can't, they can get cut anytime, but they can't leave anytime. There's a very different model from what we deal with in college. But yeah, you have the guys that there's a performance. I mean, guys don't play well. It's going to be a different conversation when you sit down the next year, right? So it's just part of it.
You talked about sort of the rat poison before the season and listening to the wrong things and maybe some guys getting too full of themselves. How much does it maybe complicate that to introduce large amounts of money?
Well, it doesn't help. I mean, it's another just factor that you have to deal with. I mean, that's just the world we live in. And I don't think guys getting too full of themselves. I just think sometimes the expectations can become the focus as opposed to just the process. And just, that's just these are young people. So, yeah. And for this particular group, they have never dealt with that. All they've gotten is they're terrible, and everything's bad apparently. Even though they've won championships and been in the playoff, but this was the first year that this group really had to deal with that. So it's a part of building back to the top of the mountain. No different than when I got the job and we built our way to the top of the mountain. We're building our way back, and it doesn't go. It's not easy. It's not perfect, but we're going to win it again multiple times. We're going to win it again. I said that in 2008, December 1. Everybody laughed at me. I said, we're going to win a national championship at Clemson. Everybody laughed. And when we struggled in 9 and 10 and 11 and we're losing, we're having some bad runs and streaks, everybody wants me to do this and everybody do that. No, we're going to do what we think is best for Clemson. And we'll get there. We'll win again. We will.
To get the offense going, do you think it's more of a mental block, or do you think it is the attention and eyes and just tightening things up?
I think it's both. I think it's definitely mental, in that all of a sudden guys are pressing, they're trying to do too much, they care, and it's just a little bit of just some bad luck too, like where you got the right play and we don't execute for whatever reason properly. So it's a combination of all those things. The good news is it's there. It's there. I mean, it's on tape. Like, we know what we're looking at. Like, we understand what the game plan is and what we're asking these guys to do. So, I mean, it's not like it's just bad. We just have to be better. And it starts with the coaches. And again, it's just very little precise details, technical things, but some of it's confidence, because again, disappointment can create doubt. Disappointment can create noise, and that can all of a sudden, you can play uptight, and that's just human nature. And try, as hard as you want, and next thing you know, you're getting out of your process. So it's not anything we can't overcome, but we better start this week, because the only thing worse than 1 and 2 is 1 and 3. So that's it. We're trying to battle back from that.
Is some of it with this year's team learning how to win?
Yes. Yeah. And again, that's part of our job as teachers, and what we've had to do a long time around here is teaching how to win. And it comes back to our plan to win. It comes back to doing what winning requires. And what are you doing when you're not here? What are you doing when nobody's watching? All of it matters when you're trying to win at the highest level. So that is definitely part of it. And those are things that you teach all the time. And you have to reteach, because you got new people, and it's, but we've always responded, and we've always got better. And again, like I said, 14 years, the worst season we've had is 9 wins. And it's happened one time. So that's bad. I guess we're bad. But it's not that we've had lots of moments like this, but we've responded. We've taught. That's what's driven our consistency. We've made changes and corrections and adjustments, and that's just, you don't keep a job for 17 years if you at this level, if you don't do something right. And so again, just you go back to the core things, the basics, the fundamentals. Make sure the lockers are clean. Make sure everybody's showing up to treatment on time. Like, let's just get back to the process of every little thing. But the main thing is you got to have the right people, and we got that. These are some great young men. I mean, they really are. They care, and they're talented. So we'll get it going.
When you see the explosives in Syracuse passing game, is that RPO, yards after catch, or are they shots? Like, how would you break that down?
All the above. Ton of drop back, where they're just ripping it, and a bunch of move the pocket, a bunch of RPO. Most of the RPO stuff is more, perimeter stuff, bang eights, a lot of empty. Where a lot of times you go empty, it's a lot of quick game and things like that, but they'll take some shots out of empty. So, they double moves. A little bit of everything. So, it's a lot of verticals. They'll push the ball down the field. But the quarterback's a good player. So they've done a nice job. Done a nice job with that.
Got time for 1 or 2 more for Coach.
Nolan has missed a field goal, LSU game and Tech game. What have you seen on those two, and just kind of what's the key to getting there?
Yeah, he's just kind of leaving his shoulder. He's just kind of getting that. It's kind of like if you leave your club open a little bit, right? You push it out to the right, and both of them have been right there. Ryan's a very technical guy from a coaching standpoint, and they're 50-yarders or whatever, but we expect him to make those, and that's his job. So, and those are that's critical. You make that field goal in the LSU game, and I'm not going for it on 4th down twice to go win the game or tie the game. I kick a field goal, and then I kick another field goal to send it to overtime there. It just changes things. Changes some dynamics of things. And then same thing the other day, it came down to 3 points, and there was a lot of those 3 points. We missed a field goal. we turn it over and they got a field goal. We missed the touchdown on the A. I mean, there's a lot of things that can impact games, and so everybody's we got to do our job with more consistency if you're going to win, and that is a part of it. These guys have got to learn how to win, in particular the close game. And we still lead the nation in one-score games. In the last 14 years of college football, one-score games are hard, and we lead the nation. I think we're just over 70-something%, and I think maybe the next closest team is maybe Ohio State, and they're like 60-something%. Those are hard games. But the reason we've won so much around here is we've won the close games. And right now we're not making but in close games, that's one of the things Coach Stallings always taught me. That's always his last thing he'd tell us every time. Men, it's going to be 3 or 4 plays to make the difference in winning and losing. Play every play like it's that play. And we're not, and that's how you learn to win. Every play can be the play that wins the game. And so, you've heard me say it many times, but that's where we got to be better, is understanding that every play is the play. And that's really what it's come down to for us. And we haven't won the close games, and we've got to finish. And we got a 10-10 game in the fourth quarter versus LSU, and we don't finish. And then we got a lead versus Georgia Tech, and we got them backed up, and we don't finish. So we got to finish in the fourth quarter. You got to play one more quarter. So I mean, there's just a lot of little things when you're learning to win at the highest level, and because you don't just carry that over. Guys leave. It's not like I get to keep guys forever around here. So you're always coaching and teaching, and there's challenges along the way. But for me, I just fall back on my experience. I mean, I've done this a long time. I've been in this situation many times. This is not my first rodeo. I've been 1-2 before. I've been 4-3. I've been 2-3. Started my career 2-3. So, I mean, we rally. We get better.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thanks.